Hi friends, Grace Estrupo here. How are you? I hope that you're having a good start to your week, Monday afternoon after all. In case you don't know me well, my name is Grace Estrupo and I help overcommitted, busy, driven professional women find their sweet spot, their zen spot, among other things. I also teach meditations in companies and a whole lot of things related to feeling and doing good. Today I wanted to talk to you because I've been having quite a bit of conversations with people who are in one way or another having a tough time. Either they're experiencing a change in their life or they're up against a decision that's one of those tough ones that you know you gotta make, but that maybe is just very challenging because you're not quite sure. You name it. I mean, I personally can attest to having gone through many times where you just are having a hard time for whatever reason. There's usually related to change and the uncertainty that change brings. Hi Antonio, how are you? So I wanted to talk about what I don't do anymore, and to do that I want to talk about what I currently do to basically move myself quicker through a time that feels difficult. Hola Sophie. I always end up saying hi in Spanish in this thing. So yeah, a couple of things that I want to bring forth, because it's something that I'm constantly having in conversations with clients and people that I support, is what are some of the key elements that help you stay in the sweet spot and help you in a good place when you're having a tough time, when life throws you a curveball, when unexpected things happen and you have to make tough calls and decisions, or where something's ending. Let's say a relationship is ending and you're just at odds with it. It's tough. So here's a couple of super key things that have been game changers in my life that now I feel like this is just the way I function. The number one thing is you can move through this on your own without a doubt, but you can get there much faster with the right support. Oh my gosh, like there really, from my perspective, there's no reason to do pretty much almost anything alone in life. Find the person or the people in your life that you know can hold space for you without judgment, and they can basically be the sounding board, but more than to give you advice, to be basically the person that you can vent with, that you can say anything to, that you can just unload some of the weight that you're carrying. And because there's something to finding or having at least one person in your life that you know what, I can say whatever I can say here, I can say anything, and they will hold it to it being temporary. Like, this isn't like how it's gonna be forever, but this is how I'm feeling right now. And I need to be able to not carry this weight or this load all on my own. And there is so much power in having that kind of support in your life where you don't have to wear a mask and pretend that you're good and pretend that you're strong when you really feel kind of lost. And you really feel, I have some things that I don't even know if I can say, but that you have that safety with someone. So my number one piece of, I would say, one of the ways that I fast track through things in my life is I don't try to do it alone. I simply don't. I have built support systems, I have built friendships, I have built community of incredible women, I have spiritual support. So I always just reach out and go somewhere. And if that's something that's difficult for you to do right now, maybe look at where could you take one step in that direction. Just text someone and say, hey, can we have a 5-minute conversation today? I'm not feeling fantastic and I just have to get it out. So unloading the weight that you're carrying all by yourself is, I would say, my go-to technique. Things move quicker, things move fast, and maybe you have to set it up that you say, I don't necessarily want feedback or advice right away, I just would like to talk. And that, my friend, is something that I've changed significantly, because I certainly was independent and tried to have it all sorted and get it all, but we don't. And and a lot of people go to therapy and all of that, which of course I'm a huge advocate of that if that's what you need and feel called to. But otherwise, set it up with a friend or two in your life. The other thing is, and here's a kicker, it's so simple and it works so well, so we forget about it. I highly advocate change your environment. Sometimes we're in a situation where it just spins and just like day in and day out, it just doesn't work. We're getting into situations where the button keeps getting pushed, and hola Ana, the buttons keep getting pushed and you're getting triggered. And change your environment. I mean, even if that means go work in a coffee shop or go sleep at a friend's house or just change your environment, even if for half a day. If usually you work at your desk and you're feeling really stressed and agitated and you're like under a lot of tension and stress, go work somewhere else. Change your environment is crucial because the energies that's stored in the environment affects us quite a bit. So change the triggers, change your environment, and immediately your perspective starts to change. You're going to start looking at things and going, maybe it's not as big as I think it is. Maybe it's not as bad as I think it is. Maybe that's not, It gives you the same thing that when somebody just gives you a different perspective on it. Changing your environment. I didn't used to do this. I would get stuck and just like push through and drill through. And that's the long way. So changing your environment is another shortcut. The other thing I want to really suggest is, and here's the thing, when we're having a hard time, the default, the tendency is to not take care of ourselves, is to kind of skip the workout and skip this and skip that. And I want to be a huge advocate for grab one thing that you can do to take care of yourself, one way of self-care, whether that's a workout or a short and like chill walk or your yoga practice or singing or driving in the car with the windows down and the music blasting. Whatever self-care feels accurate for you right now, pick one way and be consistent. And I mean 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you can do. I've had situations where I'm having a hard time where honestly sitting outside and being outdoors and like listening to the wind and the trees and journaling for 5 minutes a day was a life changer. It was really like what helped me get through. Sometimes, honestly, for me, self-care means I get in the car, I blast the music, I lower the windows, and I just drive. Anything that helps you shift and helps you get out of the spin in your mind when you're having a hard time, I consider that self-care. I'm not talking about getting your nails done and your pedicure, and of course, that's nice. I just mean things that help you shift out of your mind and into just either feeling it so that it can move, or just every day kind of going, whew, there's a lot going on in my mind. Okay, but what's really going on? Because when change is up, our sense of safety and security gets really, really challenged. And so your mind goes bananas with that. But I want to help you remember to pick one thing that you could do every day, whether it's 3 minutes or 25 minutes. The length is up to you. The intensity of it is up to you. Keep it simple and just regular. That's what really changes things. It trains your mind to go, okay, we don't have to go that far. We can chill out. And then the other thing, and you're gonna like this, even though you might have some resistance to it if you're experiencing, feeling heavy, feeling worried, feeling agitated, if that's kind of what you're struggling with, you gotta kind of force yourself initially to this, and once you're in it, you're gonna love it. Pick one thing that makes you feel fun, that helps you feel how it feels to have fun. If that's going to the movies and watching a movie for you, great. I highly suggest something that involves moving your body because it changes your chemistry and immediately you start feeling better and you release. So, as you can imagine, I'm Latina and I'm very energetic. So fun for me involves music and dancing and just shifting. I also love hiking and things like that, but of course I can't go on a hike every day. So what's fun for me? If for you, it could be like watching this ridiculous video on YouTube that makes you crack up and makes you like tear up because it's so ridiculous. Please do it. Your chemistry when you're going through a tough time is under a lot of pressure. And we need to help it by bringing in some areas where you can release. So yes, focus on the change at hand, focus on what are the right steps, how can you move forward. That's kind of what you do in your conversation when you're venting and just getting support with your support person or persons. And then with the rest of your day, change your environment, apply some self-care, whatever you consider self-care for yourself, be consistent with it. Maybe the self-care is picking up the phone and calling that person every day for a week and being like, here I am. I still feel kind of like this. I still feel worried. I still feel fear. But at least you're not carrying it on your own. I hope that makes sense. And definitely bring some fun in. The fun could be a ridiculous song, a ridiculous cartoon, a cute panda video, whatever you want. And these things seem so simple, but I'm telling you, if you start sprinkling your days with some support, some change in your environment, self-care, and a little bit of fun, you won't be having a hard time that much longer. Your perspective will shift, you'll get clear, you'll get energized, and you'll have the resilience you need to move through what you're having to move through. There's no guarantee that life won't throw you curveballs. In fact, I can almost guarantee that it will. It's just the way it goes. There's growth spurts, and growth spurts sometimes are painful in life. But there are some things that we can do in our energy and in our space and our environment to really help each other, to help ourselves. So those are some of the ways that I do it now, that I highly advise people I work with to do it, that keep it simple. No need to overhaul everything. I'm not a big advocate of changing everything in your environment. Hey Elaine, how are you? I'm not a big advocate of like, now clear out your whole house. No, what can you do simple right now? You already have enough on top of the change that you're experiencing to help yourself, help your chemistry, help your mood, help your mind through transition. And if you change your environment, if you find support, stay consistent with it. And for the love of God, please bring some fun confetti into your life. Whether that's, here's the thing, right now that song that's playing all over that some of us are probably sick of, called Despacito, they've made so many different versions of it. Some of them are hysterical. I highly recommend you go check them out. So that's my message for you today. I hope it helps. I've been talking to so many people who are experiencing change and transition, and I've noticed that there's a pattern to go really dark, really heavy with it, which that's how it feels. I get that. And there are some super small tweaks that we can make to help you go through it faster and help you go through it without suffering so much. So that's my message for today. I hope you're having a fantastic Monday or whenever you watch this video. Big hug. Bye Elaine, nice to see you here. Ciao.